You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to The Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here at 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, March 25th show. I bring into studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market, everything regarding your money. I'm here to help you in today's economy. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. You can call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com to discuss anything regarding your money and to chat with the guests that I have in studio today. Right now in studio, Jaime Flaxman with Coldwell Banker Bain, and we're going to be talking about strategies to get top dollar in this crazy real estate market. And Jaime, first time that I've had you in studio. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Tina.
And a little bit about Jaime. Jaime is a realtor with 30 years experience in real estate sales, nonprofit management, marketing, social media, and customer service. For the past 6 years, Jaime has been affiliated with Coldwell Banker Bain in their Lake Union office. Jaime has been a Seattle resident since 1992 and a homeowner since 1995. Active with numerous community organizations, including Children's Hospital and FamilyWorks, Family Resources Center, and Food Bank. She donates a portion of her commissions to a variety of nonprofit organizations and have donated more than $16,000 in the past few years. Jaime is a licensed managed broker and has the following advanced certifications: accredited buyer's representative, certified national, certified negotiation expert, certified residential specialist, certified staging agent, seller's representative specialist, and senior real estate specialist. Jaime is also recognized by Coldwell Banker Bain as qualified to sell luxury properties. So, Jaime, I'm excited to reach out to the sellers that we have listening to the show today, but always as well, even if you're a buyer, it's good to understand and get behind the scenes of what the seller's advice is, because it's going to help you as a buyer strategize. So if you're a buyer, don't tune out my conversation with Jaime. Jaime, what do you see as the most important step in selling a home in this crazy real estate market?
You know, in my mind, the most important step or place to start is who you choose as your real estate broker. You want a broker who is on top of the market, knows what's going on, and knows how to price and market your home.
And so when considering that and trying to find that person, how do you find the best real estate broker?
There are thousands of brokers out there, and each has his or her own personality and skill set. First and foremost, it's important that you find a broker who you're comfortable with and who knows how to sell in this kind of market. You're going to need to put a lot of trust in that person, and you need to feel comfortable sharing information and spending time with him or her. How do you like to communicate, and will this work with the broker you're interested in? I have had clients who don't use email or cell phones, where I need to go to them every time I need to get a document signed or wait for them to return home after work to get a question answered. I am flexible and able to do that, but I know brokers who won't work with clients, for example, who don't use email or cell phones. Our market is so hot that you have to be ready to move fast. That means your broker's availability is critical. Most brokers are available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, but what about evenings and weekends? A lot of real estate activity happens on Saturdays and Sundays, but if your broker doesn't work those days, who is representing you then?
Yeah, great advice. So really finding out the needs that you have and what's going to best suit you in this market on top of that experience. Now, Jaime, I know a lot of sellers just feel that they're going to get top dollar in this market because it is crazy. There's no inventory. There's too many buyers. But the reality is you need to be strategic in what you're doing and in order to get top dollar. So if you were to list the three most important things and steps, what would those be?
So to get top dollar, you want as many people as possible to see your home. You want to create a frenzy. So in order to get buyers to view your home, there are three things that are most important, and those are price, curb appeal, and photography. Your home should be listed at market value or a little under the market value, because this will draw buyers to the home. If a price appears too high, a buyer may exclude that home without even visiting it. Most activity on a home for sale occurs in the first 2 weeks it's on the market. And really in our market right now, it's even the first 3 days that it's on the market. And so if someone says this looks too high, they may never look at it again. Your home's curb appeal is critical. If a buyer pulls up to your house and sees peeling paint and overgrown weeds, the buyer may not even get out of the car. You don't want buyers to get distracted by the areas of the home that need work. You want them to notice the features that will make them want to live in the house. And then lastly, the importance of photography cannot be overlooked. You want to use a broker who uses professional photography. The photos are the first thing a buyer is likely to see, so you want them to be spectacular. You don't want pictures of toilets and light fixtures. You want pictures that show off the highlights of the home, the natural light, that really look good.
Yeah, makes sense. So you talk about curb appeal and you talk about pictures and the importance of having, pictures that are going to be the best representation of that home because everybody's starting looking online. What about staging? How important do you feel that is, Jaime, in today's market?
I think staging is a critical component to selling your home. You want buyers to be able to imagine living there. That means removing items that are unique to your taste and moving in items and furniture that can appeal to a wider interest base. Research has been done, and if you have two identical properties sold at similar times, one vacant with no furniture and one staged with furniture, the staged unit will likely sell for 6 to 10% more than the unstaged one. Staging pays for itself. The other reason to stage, as you said, is for the photographs. As I mentioned, a buyer may exclude a home based on the pictures, and it's hard to make a vacant home look as good as it is one that is staged.
Yes, yeah. So when you're thinking of hiring an agent, putting your home on the market, what questions should you be asking that real estate broker?
So beyond what I've mentioned already, you should ask about the broker's marketing plan for your home. Does the broker use the same marketing plan for every home they list, or is it developed for your unique home and location? For me, the items that I focus on the most are staging, professional photography, video or a virtual tour, 3D walkthroughs, professionally printed materials, emails and phone calls to brokers in the community, an open house for brokers, open houses for buyers, and mailings to your neighbors and to likely buyers for your home. Neighbors are a great source because they may have friends who want to move in, and of course they want to see they want to know who is going to be buying a house next door to them. With the exception of staging, I cover the costs for all the marketing activities.
So the exposure is important, and maximizing that exposure and making sure the agent that lists your home is going to be doing all of that effort to do that. So what about managing through multiple offers? Because it's got to be a challenge for the real estate broker agent, and I would imagine there has to be a lot of experience in understanding how to navigate through that process. So talk a little bit on that, Jaime.
So if a home is priced right and marketed well, it's going to get multiple offers. That's why we want to price a home at market value or a little below. With our shortage of inventory, it's crazy what's going on out there. And we're seeing homes that may get 2 offers, but we're also seeing homes that may get 35 or 40 offers. Wow. That's a lot for a broker to handle, and it's also a lot for sellers. It can be very overwhelming. So you want to work with a real estate broker that has experience with multiple offers and has a system in place to manage them. You want someone who's going to make it easy for you to go through a lot of offers. So the best systems include a spreadsheet that allows you to compare the various offers easily. It allows you to look at things like your net proceeds, closing dates, who the financing is through, if it's cash or if it's a lender. You want to know what contingencies are included, such as inspections or financing. If you want to close quickly, will the buyer's closing schedule work for you? I vet all lenders to make sure that those buyers are likely to close on the sale.
I thought somebody needs to put together a software, an app that is point system for all these different things on multiple offers that just gives a score for the seller to make it easy, because there's so many different factors to manage through. So what about protecting the seller's interest? What should a real estate broker do for that?
When you sell your home, after the buyer closes on the purchase, you may think you're done with that home, but that's not always the case. Buyers have been known to come back to sellers when the buyer finds a problem with the property. This is often in the form of a lawsuit. So my job and my goal in working with you, the seller, is to make sure your interests are protected so that buyers don't come after you if there's a problem. The most important activity to protect yourself, in my mind, is to disclose any issues with the home. Sellers are required by Washington state law to complete a disclosure form known as Form 17. If there was a roof leak 3 years ago and you repaired it, disclose it. But even if you didn't repair it, you still need to disclose it. Form 17 is a long form, and I see too many sellers just quickly go through checking the boxes. You really need to take the time and fill it out as accurately as possible. Next, it's important to allow the buyer to have the opportunity to inspect the home. Whether it's a pre-inspection, which is an inspection that occurs before an offer is submitted, or an inspection contingency as part of the offer, allow the buyer the opportunity to inspect the major systems of the house. Some sellers choose to conduct their own inspection and then share it with the buyers, which is a great option, but you should also still allow that buyer to conduct their own inspection if they want to. That's how you protect yourself, is through full disclosure.
Okay. And we were talking earlier in our last segment about just these crazy offers that buyers are making with escalation clauses and really trying to compete. And there has been some challenges. Fortunately for myself, I haven't seen a lot of them, but I think it's going to get worse as we continue to see these crazy offers out there with appraisals coming in low. So if that happens with one of your sellers, how are you helping them navigate through that process? What advice are you giving them?
I am seeing homes sell for ridiculous amounts compared to what they're listed for. There was one home I saw last week that closed, I think in the Wallingford neighborhood of Seattle, that closed $300,000 over list price. As $1.3 million listing closed for $1.6. Homes are escalating substantially over list price, and in 2017, we're seeing many more low appraisals. Whenever a buyer is purchasing a home with a mortgage, the lender will conduct an appraisal to verify the value of the home. This protects the lender's interest in the home and helps verify the percentage of equity the buyer will have. So it's important to know when a buyer and seller agree on a price for a home, the appraisal may not reflect that. Especially in areas where prices have appreciated rapidly, it may be difficult for the appraiser to find comparable properties that have changed hands recently to back up that price. If an appraisal comes in low, the buyer may need to bring the difference between the contract price and the appraised value to the table. It's important to know when reviewing an offer if the buyer has the additional funds if the property doesn't appraise. If the buyer needs to cover the difference with some of the funds they were going to use for their down payment, will they still be able to get their loan? So as I help the seller review each offer, I will look at a number of factors that may be impacted by a low appraisal. We have found that if a buyer is working with a local lender, there's less likelihood of a low appraisal. That's because local lenders generally use only local appraisers who know our market and have quicker turnaround times. As part of the lender vetting process, I ask the lender what they're seeing in terms of low appraisals and delayed closings. Some buyers who are obtaining mortgages are waiving their appraisal contingencies. That is, they're saying up front that if an appraisal comes in low, they'll pay the difference.
Well, they've got that new addendum in the contract.
Yes.
For that. So, Jaime, going on another topic I mentioned a little bit earlier as well in regards to a seller wanting to list their home but being concerned about finding another property. 1 minute to go to break, and I know this is a long one here, but what do sellers do? That's
a very valid concern, and we see that a lot. Many sellers want to purchase that home but can't find anything, or they're concerned about finding something. So I have several recommendations. The first is you could move in with friends or family or get a short-term rental while you search for your new home. Another option is that we ask the buyer for a rent back. That is, you can stay in your home for a period of time after it closes, and in this competitive market, buyers are often offering those rent backs at no cost to the seller. And then lastly, you can speak with a lender to find out that you may be eligible for some bridge financing or some other financing options.
Yeah, great advice. Jaime, thank you so much for coming in studio, and look forward to having you come back again in the future.
I'd love to.
And that's the show. This is your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, signing off for the day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be here same time, same place next weekend, right here at 1150 AM KKNW.